everyone to the October 20th general session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. As a reminder, this is a public meeting, so it is being recorded. So we kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum that you would have if it was a meeting in person. And finally, for those of you that are calling in by cell phone, if you would please remember to mute your phone by pressing *6. We will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce. So,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have some guests this morning. We have with us this morning Mark Jones, who's the Associate Executive Director for the Ohio Association of Elementary School Administrators, and Cheryl Jones, the Principal at East Linden Elementary School. So we have some uplifting guests with us this morning. Mark Jones is with us, and Cheryl Jones. These folks, they are here to tell us more about the work that goes into creating a positive and rewarding school environment, and how they go above and beyond to meet the needs of our Franklin County students. Congratulations to you, Cheryl, for all the hard work, hard-working teachers and administrators at East Linden Elementary on achieving this year's Hall of Fame status. So welcome to you both this morning. We are pleased to have you with us. So take it away.
Thank you, Commissioner Grady. As you mentioned, my name is Mark Jones, and I am the Associate Executive Director for the Ohio Association of Elementary School Administrators. We represent 2,000 or so elementary, pre-K, middle-level administrators across the state of Ohio. We do a lot of advocacy work for them. We provide professional development for them. And one of the other things we do, very important, we help recognize some of the outstanding principals and schools that we have across the state of Ohio. One of those awards that we use to recognize is the Hall of Fame Award, and that is for an entire school. And I'd just like to share with you very quickly the process for designating a Hall of Fame school. It's a 4-step process. It begins in the fall each year, where we take nominations either from parents, community members, colleagues, staff members who believe they have some great things happening in their building. After we receive a nomination of a school, we notify them that they've been nominated and send them an application. It's a very extensive application. It's about 15 pages long, and they get to fill out all kinds of information about their building, sharing what they do in all of the programs that they have to help improve student success. We take all of those written applications, and we have a committee of administrators from across Ohio read those and score those. If the application scores high enough on that part, then we actually have the 4th step. After the reading, we have a visitation phase where we send a team of administrators into each of those buildings and assess as well to make sure that what was written on their application matches what we're seeing in real life. And each year we will recognize up to 10. This year in 2019 and 20, we recognized just 8. And fortunately, Franklin County had 4 of those 8. In Franklin County this year, we had Sutter Park Preschool, which is the Worthington City Schools. It's run by Tricia Hopkins. She's the principal there. We had Indian Trail Elementary in the Canal Winchester City Schools, or local schools, run by Eric Riddle, principal. And we also had a 3rd elementary, Wilson Hill Elementary in Worthington, and the principal there is Dan Gerard. But our 4th principal, we have with us here today, East Linden Elementary School in the Columbus City Schools, led by Cheryl Jones. So Cheryl, why don't you share with them very quickly a little bit about your building?
Yes, so it's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank the Franklin County Commissioners and all of the guests that are gathered here today for our meeting. And as Mark stated, East Linden, it's a pleasure to be recognized, our entire school community. We're comprised of about 300 students, about 40 staff, and we are 100% economically disadvantaged, about 25% of English language learners. We have about 17% of our students have disabilities. We're 90% African American, 3% white, 5% Hispanic, and about 2% multiracial. And so at East Linden, our major focus is around academics and helping our students to show growth in their academics. And so with that, our staff is really engaged in helping our students and our parents to really engage in the learning and helping students be successful on the state standards. And so just to share a little bit with you, East Linden showed tremendous gains over the last 4 years on the Ohio State report card, specifically in working in a collective efficacy with our staff. We showed improvement where we moved from the lowest, being a lower performing school, a priority status school, and we moved to focus status this year. And so our staff is very excited about that. I would be remiss to, with this application, it does take the full support of our superintendent, Dr. Talisa Dixon, and the leadership team. And so we do have their full support, and I do want to recognize them for all the support that they have shown East Linden. I just wanted to share with you a few of our efforts that we have worked through. You'll hear a lot about social emotional learning. And we believe at East Linden is working on the inside out approach with our students. Specifically, we have worked with the Columbus Public Health. We work specifically with the Columbus Care Coalition. Have done some work with the OSU TEDx around resiliency, and we utilize some yoga and some mindfulness here at East Linden because we feel that that's important, that our students are centered and ready to learn. I also wanted to tell you that we do work with several community partners. Specifically, the one that we work with the most is in the area where our school is located, and it's the New Salem Missionary Baptist Church. We work with Dr. Keith Troy, where we have food boxes delivered once a week, and working with some of the faith-based community, and they do a lot of school supply drives as well. And so I just want to thank OAESA, our Ohio Association of Elementary School Principals, and all of the others too that are being recognized for this award. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate our community members for recognizing educators, especially during this pandemic and what has been a rough ride, from March until now. But we are still standing, and we're very excited to continue to serve our Franklin County, Columbus community as well. Thank you so much for your support.
Do my colleagues have anything they want?
Yes, thank you, President O'Grady, and Mark and Cheryl. Congratulations, and thank you for what you do. You had it right when you said that it's been a rough ride this year for all of us. But at the core of the rough ride are folks like yourself who are on the front line, ensuring that as we come out of this, our young people, perhaps in many ways seen as our most vulnerable people, will be ready, prepared, and moving forward. And that's really what you should be recognized for. Also want to thank Dr. Randall Sampson, who brought this to my attention. I'm not sure if he's on the call, but I definitely want to acknowledge him and thank him. I know he's been a long time person in the fight on the front line with our young people. And this is truly, I think, representative of a community effort. And one of you mentioned it when you talked about partnering with the church and partnering with the community. That's how we're going to come out of all of this, working together to create the foundation of strong building blocks so that our young people can be prepared to, as we come out of this, to take on whatever's next, whether it's middle school, high school, college, or life. And that's really what you're doing. You are the frontliners, and we appreciate you. We salute you and honor you for that work, and certainly the progress. And the other beautiful thing about what you represent, what you said, Mark, was, you really, the schools that you laid out really represent the region. It's not one corner of Franklin County. You're talking far east side. I mean, that's really indicative of a real strategy that is valuable for everyone, that we can all embrace and support. And so, quite frankly, we honor you, we tilt our hats to you, but we also salute those young people who work so hard and embrace what you are sharing and giving to them. And so, thank you once again, congratulations, and please take back to the teachers and all of the folks who've been involved with the project our congratulations, support, and salute.
Thank you.
I don't think he couldn't have said it better. It's about our community coming together to support our children. And thank you for doing that during this tough time, but always. All the teachers, the administrators come together to support our kids, and we thank you for that.
President O'Grady, Dr. Sampson is on. Is it okay if he said a few words if he wanted to?
Absolutely. I see him there on my screen, Dr. Sampson.
Oh, thank you so much. Just want to take a couple quick seconds just to recognize the great folks who've made this award happen, specifically a great organization like the Ohio Elementary Association of Elementary School Administrators, Columbus City Schools, but most importantly, Franklin County as a whole has been a leader in education throughout the country. We have elite schools in the entire district, even the ones who did not earn a 2020 Hall of Fame award. There are so many great things happening throughout the entire county. Like Commissioner Boyce said, from Dublin to the south side of Columbus, all the way east and all the way north to Linden and everything in between. Really elite things happening. City of Bexley, various places throughout central Ohio and throughout the county. So I'm just grateful and thankful for all of the teachers who are doing such a fabulous job taking on this immense task. We did not sign up for this. We never went to teacher college for this, but we've adapted and adopted because we have our kids in mind, and that's our only driving factor, is the kids that we serve in the community that we serve. We're not going to be much, and I'd like to thank Columbus City Schools, Julie Davis for spearheading this, and all of the school districts out there, Worthington, Canal, Winchester, who've done a great job. So thank you so much.
Dr. Sampson, that's unbelievable. We get up every day. All of us adults get up every day, and we just try to figure out what we're going to do to address the situation. And as county administrators, county elected officials, we make our decisions, and we go about doing the work. And we oftentimes we don't think about the kids. And I have kids that are in school, and I have a seventh grader as my youngest. The decisions that are being made, whether it's about the pandemic or it's about their academics, but we don't think about the effect that this is having on them. Oftentimes, we don't think about we don't get into their psyche, and we don't think about what they're dealing with and the things that they're going through. And I remember back in the late 70s when we had the blizzard, and we were all, those of us that are my age, and we were all out of school for, a month and a half. And the impact that had on us and what school teachers were, going through at that time, and what administrators were going through at that time to try to provide for us, the kids that were dealing with being out of school. And this is having an impact. This is definitely having an impact on kids. Kids that are missing their friends, kids that are missing the day in and day out of being at school. I think back to that time, and I think that it was just a big vacation, just a big holiday, and we played in the snow every day, and we had a great time. And this is different for these kids. This is, these kids want to be back in school. They want to be back to seeing their friends on a regular basis. They're being impacted academically, and it's going to have long range effects academically on a lot of these kids. Learning online is not the norm. It's not how most of these kids do best, and it's certainly not, as Randall said, Dr. Sampson said, it's not how you as educators were taught to make it through all of this, and so we need to get through all of this, and we need to do the best we can. And you guys are doing remarkable things. And so to be a Hall of Fame winner during a time like this, a Hall of Fame inductee during a time like this, is truly remarkable. So anytime you're made a Hall of Fame winner or a Hall of Fame school is something to be proud of. But to win it now, to win it during these trying times, you should be even more proud. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of you for the work that you're doing. The folks that are truly on the front lines, in my estimation, there's so many that we could hold up. But the folks that are truly on the front lines right now are educators. The folks that are in schools every day, that are doing the work every day to prepare our kids and to have to deal with this pandemic at the same time. Congratulations, great work. Very proud. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome to stay with us if you'd like. All right. So we need to move on now, and I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the August 11th, August 18th, and August 25th, 2020 general sessions, and the October 15th, 2020 briefing session, and the October 12th and October 14th, 2020 administrative briefings.
Me, so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Thank you.
All right, now to the engineer.
Resolution number 706-20. Preliminary.
Good morning, Commissioners, County and Administration. On behalf of Engineer Robertson, my name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering. Commissioners, our first resolution, as noted, is a permissive fee request from the City of Upper Arlington in the amount of $400,000. This request for license fee funds will provide financial assistance towards Arlington's Northwest Boulevard project. From pending any questions, I would ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 706-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
20. Preliminary allocation and final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fees, a $5 fund for the city of Reynoldsburg in the amount of $363,546.
Commissioners, as noted, this is a similar permissive fee request from the city towards Reynoldsburg's East Main Street project, from the City of Columbus Corporation limit on the west end to the Franklin County, Licking County line on the east end. Again, the engineer has viewed the proposed use of funds and determined that they meet the allowable use. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 707-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 707-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fritz.
Thank you. And now to the Sheriff's Department.
Resolution number 708-20. Resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations for the Franklin County Drug Task Force.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This resolution authorizes non-general fund supplemental appropriations for the Franklin County Drug Task Force. This will allow us to complete the year with the necessary appropriations to provide the functions outlined in the grant. We were able to receive some additional grant funding this summer, necessitating this need for additional appropriations to complete 2020. With no questions, I'll ask approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 708-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 708-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
The Office on Aging.
Resolution number 709-20. Resolution authorizing a contract extension and modification with TMH Solutions LLC to provide IT consulting services to support the replacement of the Q Continuum Case Management System in the amount of $342,216.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Amy Funk, Assistant Director of Administration, and joining me this morning is Director Orville Johns. This resolution authorizes a contract extension and modification with TMA Management System. The Office on Aging entered into a modified and extended contract agreement approved for $52,800 under Resolution number 452-20, which expired on October 9th, 2020. The Office on Aging now desires to extend the contract for project management services to oversee the implementation of a new case management system. This is an 18-month contract from October 12th, 2020 through April 12th, 2022.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 709-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 709-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 710-20. Resolution authorizing a memorandum of agreement with the Community Shelter Board to allow the county to serve as a fiscal pass-through, enabling FEMA to reimburse the Shelter Board for expenses incurred during the state of Ohio's COVID-19 declared state of emergency.
Good morning, Commissioners. Director Jim Schimmer. I'm in the Lazarus Building with Mark Paxson, Jenny Snap.
Good morning, Commissioners. By virtue of the state having declared a COVID-19 state of emergency, the county is able to access funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency's FEMA's Public Assistance Program. Through this agreement, the county will serve as a physical pass-through to allow the Community Shelter Board to request reimbursement for expenses incurred related to the sheltering and social distancing in Franklin County residents. This agreement does not constitute a financial obligation on the part of the Board of Commissioners or its general fund. All reimbursements will be solely subject to the availability of federal FEMA PA funds. Should FEMA PA funds be denied, withheld, remitted late, or in any way become unavailable, the Board of Commissioners shall have no liability to the Shelter Board for any of the costs associated with this agreement. The duration of this agreement will continue for as long as the Director of the Ohio Department of Health continues to certify that COVID-19 remains a threat to the lives, public health, and safety of Ohio residents. Pending any questions, I respectfully request approval of this agreement.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 710-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Has been adopted. Resolution number 711-20. Review of petition to annex 0.72 acres more or less from Truro Township to the city of Reynoldsburg. Case number ANX-22-20.
Morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 0.72 acres from Truro Township to the city of Reynoldsburg. The area to be annexed includes property located at 1750 Lancaster Avenue. That's east of Lancaster, south of East Main Street, west of Graham Road, and north of East Livingston Avenue. Petition was filed by Agent Chris Russell on behalf of the owner, Ann Russell. 100% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with the city of Reynoldsburg, and the city passed resolution number 2020-06 on September 28, 2020, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in the zoning buffer. Petition meets all requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 711-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 711-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 712-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached subordination agreement to allow Wesley Larkin to refinance his mortgage at 403 Westfall Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43213.
Good morning, Commissioners. Madison Andrews, Admin Assistant for EDP. This property owner originally took a loan from Franklin County for $6,000 and is now wishing to refinance his property. With this refinance, the interest rate would go from 3.875% to 2.875%. Additionally, this would take the loan term from 30 years down to 15 years with the refinance. He's met all the program requirements thus far, so we're requesting your signatures on the subordination agreement.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 712-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes. Yes.
Resolution number 712-20 has been adopted.
Sorry, I had a little frog in my throat.
You all right, Commissioner?
I'm fine.
All right, good. Resolution number 713-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Kamaladeen Muley and Rashid Muley at 6983 Winchester Crossing, Canal, Winchester, Ohio, 43110.
This property owner received a loan of $6,000 from Franklin County with our home loan program. They've met all the program requirements and all the property taxes are current. So we ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 713-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 713-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 714-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Shahid Hussein and Kara Hussein at 3060 Hillgrove Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43223.
This property owner received a loan of $6,000. They've met all program requirements and all property taxes are current. So we ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 714-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 714-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 715-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of instrument for Parrish Bonnet at 4154 Chandler Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43215.
This property owner received $14,900 with our home rehabilitation program. They've met all program requirements, all property taxes are current, so we ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 715-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 715-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 716-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Richard W. Glenn at 1760 Rock Creek, Grove City, Ohio, 43123.
This property owner received a loan of $4,463 with the home loan program. He's met all program requirements and all property taxes are current, so we ask that you sign the discharge of mortgage instrument.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 716-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 716-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 717-20. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Sean R. Thompson at 2558 Briggs Road, Columbus, Ohio 43223.
This property owner received a loan of $17,019.45 with our home rehabilitation program. They've met all program requirements and all the property taxes are current, and we request that you ask the discharge of mortgage instrument.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 717-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 717-20 has been adopted. And commissioners, if I may, these documents are prepared and ready for your signature in my office at your next convenience.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Justice Policy and Program.
Resolution number 718-20. Resolution authorizing receipt of Franklin County's fiscal year 2020 Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act block and planning grants, and the authorization of the President of the Board of Commissioners to sign all acceptance documents and waivers related to the Title II grant programs in the amount of $120,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Daniels, Director of the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. As stated in the title, this resolution requests your authorization to accept the fiscal year 2020 Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Title II grants, $110 in the block grant and $10,000 in the administration grant. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
So I do have a question. It's not really pertaining to this resolution per se, Michael, but a couple of weeks ago, is Chris Long on?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Deputy Administrator. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a resolution that where the Board of Elections was accepting a grant, but they couldn't accept it until the county accepted it. On a grant like this, where it's essentially already been accepted, what's the difference between what they've done in terms of accepting a grant and what the Board of Elections was doing and when they were trying to accept the grant?
Thank you, Commissioner. So there is some additional work that we're still doing, but very clearly in, and I believe it is in revised code section 9.2, the Board of Commissioners explicitly has the authority to accept grants. Whereas at least the distinction that was made with the Board of Elections is that the Board of Elections as an entity did not have that clear-cut authority to accept the grant. We are, to your Commissioner, compiling the list of those entities explicitly that are referenced in the revised code that have the authority to accept grants on behalf of the county. But the Board of Commissioners, without question, has the authority to accept those funds.
Okay, yeah, I'll be looking very close. I want to see that research when it comes back because, again, one of my concerns, I don't mean to deviate here too much, but I don't like what I see happening at the Board of Elections, and I'm not going to play these games with them. I want, and that is a direct conversation too with the prosecutor's office, because we're not going to, from here on out, I really want explicit Ohio Revised Code language that illustrates why they're doing something or why we can or can't do something. And I just want to really better understand, because again, I recognize that maybe it's me that I don't understand what the Ohio Revised Code says with regards to this issue. And so I want to better understand it. But I'm concerned and I want to see that language still. And this just reminded me that we need to clarify that so that we can really have a better understanding of what we can and cannot accept, or what agencies can and cannot accept. So I just want to point that out.
Absolutely. And Commissioners, at your direction and at the direction of County Administrator as well, both the legal research and with the Office of Management and Budget on the auditor side as well. We are compiling exactly that list, and then we'll follow up with each of you with legal counsel as well to ensure that we clearly understand what the authority is and where it may or may not differentiate. And we should be able to do that very quickly. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 718-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 718-20 has been adopted.
And if I could just ask Deputy Administrator Long, well, let's flag this resolution as a comparable one when we do that with the law, with regards to the law, because I really want zero. And this is a good example of my question of why it's changed. And so if you don't mind, if you could just flag this one.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep. Sorry.
Resolution number 719-20. Resolution authorizing 4 subgrant awards and contracts for services for juvenile justice and delinquency prevention programming under the fiscal year 2020 Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act block grant in the amount of $110,000.
Commissioners, now that you have accepted the block grant with the previous resolution, we're asking here for your ability to disperse that $110,000 in block grants to 4 implementing community agencies to get those dollars immediately on the street to help our young folks. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 719-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 719-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 720-20. Resolution authorizing a grant agreement with 3SG Plus LLC to provide data collection and reporting for the support and services to incarcerated parents and their adolescent children via an Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention fiscal year 2019 Second Chance Act addressing the needs of incarcerated parents and their minor children grant in the amount of $35,000.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a contract with 3SG Plus to use their on-base product to collect and collate and report data on the 2019 Children of Incarcerated Parents grant, or incarcerated parents and their minor children, depending on how you want to phrase it, but I prefer to put the emphasis on the children. This is a fairly complicated set of data collection in that one parent may have more than one child with different custodial parents, as well as one child may have 2 justice involved parents. And so being able to track this in the way that we normally would, or perhaps in other systems would track an individual's progress throughout the system. These one-to-many, many-to-many relationships do require a more robust data gathering and comparison system. The folks at 3SG have been more than accommodating in terms of helping us with functionality and getting fitting this into a price point that allows us to put it comfortably into the grant. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
Okay, there are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 720-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 720-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 721-20. Resolution on a contract with Garrett Recovery Housing to continue providing street outreach, case management, and a drop-in center to individuals at high risk for overdose and death due to opioid abuse in the amount of $210,082.
Commissioners, as stated in the title, this is a continuation to provide street outreach. This is possible because we were able, through Caitlin Looney's work, to secure the second year of the Centers for Disease Control opiate abuse funding. We will continue to contract with Garrett Recovery Services, who operate over on the west side, and provide outreach and drop-in center, peer support, personal hygiene and wound care kits, recovery management groups, education and testing for various health concerns, including STDs, and linkage to case management. Garrett Recovery is open to anyone on the west side, but they specialize in dealing with folks who have opiate substance use disorder, and primarily individuals who are involved in either sex trafficking or the survival sex trade on the west side. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 721-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 721-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 722-20. Resolution authorizing a contract for services between Franklin County and North Central Mental Health Services Incorporated for case management related to the Safe Stations and Pathways programs in the amount of $95,700.
Commissioners, we'll be using COAP, or Comprehensive Opioid Abuse Prevention, dollars from fiscal years 2017, 2018 to continue our contract with North Central Mental Health Services to keep a case manager, Morgan, who is an outstanding worker at the Safe Stations location over in Whitehall, has also expanded to do some work for us with our ladies in the Pathways program, particularly now that we are unable to meet that program in person inside the facility. And so it's much more one-on-one and in the community. We're also, when we wrote this resolution, we did not have the news to share, but just this week we found out that the COAP grant has been renamed to COSIP, and that allows us to do opioids and other substances, including cocaine and methamphetamine. Our application for a 2020 grant for that in the amount of $1.2 million over 3 years was indeed awarded to us earlier this week. Thanks to Melissa Pearson and her work for doing that. The city of Columbus landed a grant. The state of Ohio brought in some $6 million, of which roughly $1 million was written in by us to not only continue the Safe Stations program in Whitehall, but to expand it and create a Safe Stations program over on the west side. And so this contract funding with Morgan on board will really enable us to have a smooth transition into providing those services. But again, we'll bring those contracts forward in a very short period of time for your acceptance. But hats off to the team here in Justice Policy and Programs. That's about $2.2 million specifically to address residents with substance use disorder over the next 3 years and continue to save the lives of our residents who are most at risk. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my team on that. And if there are no further comments or questions on this specific agreement with North Central, we'd ask for your approval.
That's great
Okay.
news.
Yeah, it is. If there are no comment, and Pathways is one of my favorite programs. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 722-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 722-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 723-20. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,023,307.51.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. This resolution requests your approval of 116 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 14 out of 22 eligible POs totaling $74,261.28 are being presented for award to 5 women business enterprises, 5 minority business enterprises, 3 small and emerging business enterprises, and 1 local economically disadvantaged enterprise. This represents 64% of the eligible PO volume and 88% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Great. Thanks, Megan. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 723-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 723-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 724-20, resolution in support of an orderly and peaceful elections process.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. The United States Senate in September of this year reaffirmed their commitment to the orderly and peaceful transition of power called for in the Constitution of the United States. Our domestic tranquility, security, general welfare, and civil liberties depend on the respect for the rule of law and respect for the orderly processing of ballots on election night and on the days following an election. Any disruptions of or undue interference in the casting of ballots and the lawful and proper administration of ballot counting on or after November 3rd, 2020 could be detrimental to community safety and well-being, and every Ohioan has a major stake in ensuring and supporting elections integrity, orderly elections administration, and peace and tranquility. Therefore, this resolution is following. The Board of Commissioners hereby commits to support the order, peace, and respect for the rule of law in all aspects surrounding the election November 3rd, 2020, and calls on all candidates and residents of Franklin County and the state of Ohio to respect the voting decisions of the Ohio electorate. Pending any questions, resolution.
I didn't really hear words you said. I don't know. It was kind of going in and out. Was that for just me or for everybody?
No, she's got a bad connection.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I heard most of it, but
I don't know. I probably maybe I should just take a minute to read the resolution a little more because I think the public should hear this.
Should I attempt to, can you hear me better if I get closer to my iPad?
You're just going in and out, Chris.
He's breaking up bad. I think it's.
And by the way, Chris, you need to mute your phone. Chris, your phone's not muted, and you're messing up the line. Can you mute your phone, please?
It may be where you are in your house, Chris. Are you near your?
I can call back in, or if Lauren Rummel is on the call. Yes, County Administrator.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Given the importance of this resolution, I would ask the clerk to read the resolution in its entirety into the record.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I'd be happy to, if I can have just one moment.
If not, Mr. Clerk, I'll take the duty.
I have it, Mr. Wilson.
You got it? Okay.
Resolution number 724-20, resolution in support of an orderly and peaceful elections process. Whereas the United States Senate by unanimous consent on September 24th, 2020, approved Senate Resolution 718, reaffirming Senate's commitment to the orderly and peaceful transfer of power called for in the Constitution of the United States. And whereas our domestic tranquility, security, general welfare, and civil liberties depend on respect for the rule of law and respect for the orderly processing of ballots on election night and on the days following an election. And whereas any disruptions of or undue interference in the casting of ballots and the lawful and proper administration of ballot counting on or after November 3rd, 2020 could be detrimental to community safety and well-being. And whereas for many decades, Ohio's Secretaries of State and the 88 county boards of elections have distinguished themselves in trustworthy elections administration and in conducting honest and true counts of Ohioans' ballots cast by each method and manner allowed and protected under Ohio law and have earned the trust of Ohioans. And whereas the Ohio Secretary of State has affirmed the state's November 3rd, 2020 election results will be honest and legitimate and should be accepted by all candidates and their voters. And whereas every Ohioan has a major stake in ensuring and supporting elections integrity, orderly elections administration, and peace and tranquility surrounding free and fair elections. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Franklin County, Ohio, that this Board of Commissioners does hereby commit to support order, peace, and respect for the rule of law in all aspects surrounding the election of November 3rd, 2020, and calls on all candidates and residents of Franklin County and the state of Ohio to respect the voting decisions of the Ohio electorate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean.
Commissioner O'Grady, before I move for passage of the resolution, let me just add that I really think we're in such a critical time in our nation right now, and even here in Franklin County, where I think this declaration is more than just simply a statement. I think this is a notice, and I think it's important that the public know we are working very closely with the sheriff and the Columbus Police Department and all law enforcement agencies to just ensure, and all of us at every agency, every public agency, to ensure that A, your ballot is cast, counted, and B, that election day should happen without a hitch. There typically are things that happen on election day, but we'll do our best to ensure that the environment is as smooth and as non-disruptive as possible. And I'm speaking to the post-election, so the results. And so I want to thank everyone for bringing this resolution forward, because I do think it is demonstrative of a very important statement that's needed as we count down these last couple of weeks before the election. So thank you.
And I would like to add to that, agreeing with everything you said, Commissioner Boyce, that words matter, and everything that's in this resolution matters. Voting is such an important right and responsibility. And I think that when we put these words out there, we mean what we say, that we will do everything we can do to ensure a safe election. And we mean that we will work with all law enforcement, and hope we don't need to do that, but we will do whatever we need to do to ensure voters can vote safely and that their votes will count. And that's what's important about elections. They matter.
Yeah, thank you. We, my colleagues and I have been working with not only the sheriff, but EMA, the EMA director, the Board of Elections, prosecutor, but also with the city of Columbus and the business community, the civic community here in Central Ohio. We've also been working with our colleagues across the state in the metropolitan counties throughout the state of Ohio. On Friday, I made a presentation to the County Commissioners Association of Ohio Board of Directors with this resolution that we're going to pass today. There's an expectation that counties across the state are going to pass this resolution. We presented it to them along with the statement, the toolkit, as it were, the statement that the business community is supporting. We have there's an accompanying statement that businesses will use to support, and civic associations and civic leaders will use to support as well. And we presented that to the board of directors of the County Commissioners Association so that they could share not only the statement with their chambers of commerce and their civic associations throughout the state, but we asked that, and I believe Clerk Hindenlang has shared or is about to share the resolution with all 88 counties across the state. The mayors are doing the same, sharing the resolution and the statement with their colleagues across the state of Ohio in an effort to make sure that this is across the state of Ohio, this is a broad-based effort to support this type of language so that folks know and understand that this is this is the type of an effort that all Ohioans should be behind. And so we've already, there's actually, Fairfield County's actually already passed this resolution. And so, proud that we're supporting it here in Franklin County today, passing it here in Franklin County today, and expecting that it'll be passed in many counties throughout Ohio sometime this week or early next.
Well, if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 724-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 724-20 has been adopted. And I will be forwarding this communication out along with any other materials that county administration asks to my 87 fellow clerks across the state of Ohio.
Thank you, Clerk Kinwine. Do we have any journalizations today, Dean?
We do not, Commissioner.
Okay, so that concludes the business of today, October 20th. And unless anybody else has anything else, Mr. Hopkins, do you have anything for any of the commissioners today?
No, sir. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other media or press on the line? Being none, I think that concludes today's meeting. Everybody have a great day. Hopefully the rain will clear up. It's supposed to be beautiful the next couple days.
Supposed to be, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you,
You
everyone.
too.